This is David Rodecker, and I'm here to explain a really bad ASP.NET screw up that I can't identify the source of, but wanted to point it out. So it all comes from a notion of in ASP.NET, I have a simple command field that has a value of true, but if I set its value to false and then back to true, I get really bad issues. So here I'll go to my code, and this is essentially where I'm noticing this to occur. This is I wanted to be able to set the visible property to false and then back to true is what I was doing. So anyway, here's my form, and on this form I have a clickback event that I'm going to go ahead and call. So when I hit change, notice that I come in here and it skips this status and continues on. I'm getting a single event called selecting working here, and as I expect, as soon as I hit change, I have this large drop down that's populated, and part of the reason I want it in a drop down is only after this change event is so that it can be a little more sensitive to the client, so we don't have to give the client a bunch of useless information. So anyway, let me go ahead and rerun my form here, but pass it back, get back to the state I was in. So I'm going to go ahead and change again. Now this time, now notice again it wants to skip this status where I have it set to visible equals false. I'm going to go ahead and set it right back to this and then continue to run from here. Notice that both events get called. Again, my visible property is set immediately to true, but I got my first event and fire, and I got a second event fired. For some reason I'm getting two events firing when I've attenuated that basic property. Going to continue to run, and the consequence I get because of firing events twice is that my drop down is not getting populated no matter how many times I click change. And again, to reproduce it, if I just let it run and let it skip that section of attenuating it, one event fires, this spins for a while. After a while my client gets loaded, so that was fine. But if I reproduce this, notice I have to, if I reproduce this with doing it again, it wants to skip this. I'm going to go ahead and drag my pointer to come back to this stop event, let it run, and I get one event, thinking, firing a second event again, and that's my problem. I can't fire the event twice, and for some reason it's doing that and completely throwing me off. So thank you very much, ASP.NET.